Nima korici pedeto na lavricho me santun kierafno.
Welcome to Who Taught You to Hate Her. This is your host Alishba.
And I'm your host Fatima. Today we have another very special guest, Waleed Khan.
Yay.
Hi, Waleed.
Hello,
Hi,
Waleed.
guys.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Very good.
Thank you for coming over on a Sunday. So, Waleed, tell us about yourself a little bit.
Okay, so my name is Waleed Khan. I'm a second-year medical student. That's it about myself. But uske alawa, I'm really into fitness. I really enjoy talking about stuff. So I feel like that's why I'm here.
You really like talking about stuff.
Yeah,
Do you like talking about controversial stuff?
I do like talking about controversial stuff. That's my favorite thing to do.
That's nice. So, Waleed, let's get right into it. You're a medical student, no?
Right.
So, do you have any information for us about medical misogyny? Anything that you've experienced in your learning practices or that you've observed in clinics?
Okay, so I have not reached clinical stage. I am a second year only. It's preclinical. We're learning about theory and stuff. However, medical misogyny in itself is a big issue. For example, like the whole field of gynecology, it was made by men, and they were performing tests and experiments on enslaved women, and that is the foundation of how this whole field for women has started. It was through these horrors. Okay, they were experimenting on women and doing this bad stuff on them. I think one thing, do you know what a fallopian tube is?
Yeah.
Uterus का वो part होता है. तो उसका नाम तो fallopian tube because it's क्या कहते हैं, it was named after this gynecologist at that time who experimented on women, but now it's called uterine tube because of the horrors that he inflicted upon enslaved women. So that's why its name is more I would say woke now, so that the history of that can be removed.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's called a uterine tube now instead of a fallopian tube.
When I learned about it, it was still fallopian tube. So I didn't know about this.
What about some particular practices when it comes to the ER or the OR?
One thing that I've heard about a lot in news and stuff is that sometimes women's pain is sometimes considered as a normal thing. I don't know specific cases from the ER, but I can tell an example from my family. So I was discussing this with one of my family members, and she was she's postmenopausal, so she was telling me about how she has hot flashes and these other symptoms that are affecting her day-to-day activities, and there's treatment available for that. She's talking about how she could get estrogen replacement, and she said that she wasn't sure if she wanted to do that. She said, isn't this a normal part of just existing? After a certain age, women do experience these symptoms. And I was to her, I was well, what is the point of the suffering? If you have diabetes, you do get on insulin. If you have heart problems, you do get on medication. So if your issue is women specific, why would you not get on medication that would make your life easier? So I do think, although this is a very systemic issue, individuals are affected by it as they feel this is something that's normal. Our pain is normal. That's just part of being a woman.
Do you think it's just individuals or generations?
I think generations. It's definitely a generational issue.
Generations are affected by it.
Definitely.
The gaslighting goes insane.
Mm-hmm.
It's
hardcore all throughout
they're in
history.
pain, but they're just continue doing the work, the housework and everything. They just ignore it. And otherwise, when the man of the house is in pain, it's all about him. They're taking care of him. They're pampering him. But otherwise, कि इतना सीवियर ना हो पेन कि इमरजेंसी में ले जाना पड़े, तब तक वो औरत खुद को भी सीरियस नहीं लेती and उसको भी कोई सीरियस नहीं लेता. I've seen that.
Dude, my biggest enemy when it comes to this is my nani.
Why?
What did your nani do?
Dude,
Does she?
every time I have period cramps, she hates me for it. She's
Oh my God.
and I understand her hate. As an older sister, I hate my siblings when they get it easy. It's internally in there. I hate them, but I tend to control it most of the time. Most of the time, I try to be a good person. But for my nani, it's like really different. It's not just that I'm getting it easy. It's that a lot of my needs are being accommodated, whereas hers were just downright ignored. If my dad ever finds out that I'm on my period, my nani hates it the most because she's like, mere baap aur bhai ko kabhi pata nahi chala.
Oh my god.
And it's that I had it so much worse than you. मुझे घर के सारे काम करने पड़ते थे. मैं रोटियां बनाऊं periods पे, मैं कपड़े धोऊं, मैं झाड़ू पोछा करूं, चाहे मेरी हालत खराब हो रही हो, चाहे मैं faint हो रही हूं, चाहे कुछ भी हो रहा हो, I would do all of this, and you're here for a little bit of pain. You take so many medications, you take a day off, you do this, you do that. And even if it's not period related, I have some issues, inflammatory issues with my joints that get triggered due to menstruation. And so even a disease linked to that, she's like, kamar ke dard kisko nahi hota beta. And it's like,
I'm so sorry.
a key
That's so
case of
terrible.
women kind of like, oh, women hate women too. But it's not that they hate, it's because that
It's
they
like
were
embedded
treated.
into them, yeah.
Exactly. They were treated so roughly, they were treated so horribly that when they see someone getting treated better, the natural reaction is to just be angry that my life was miserable, man. I could have had it this easy. Why did I go through all that?
In my family, so when my sister's on her period, so like you should not talk to her. Like it gets really bad. Like she gets really pissed off at everything. So I sometimes like piss her off on purpose, not because she's on her period. I just piss her off in general. And my family is like comes to defend her. Kid, do not piss her off. She's on her period. Like stay away from her. And I feel like that's a good thing in the sense that like she is going through a tough time, so you should be more understanding. Because sometimes I'm like, so what's the big deal? Like when I was younger, especially. So what? Like every woman goes through this.
Oh
so
my
what?
god, there is, I'm so sorry for cutting out, but there's a YouTuber out there, and her name is Jalen Sue, and there's like a gang of 4 siblings, and they talk about it a lot. You love them? I love them too. It's like they have brothers, and they talk about it a lot. Itna zyada. It's like when their sisters are on the period, the brother RJ is like itna over exaggeratedly. He's like so into it and so caring, and I just love the environment they create. You guys should search it up. It's just lovely.
Promotion kari hai aap hamare podcast pe.
I was just watching
And then like
them.
when my sister's on her period, so she's like, oh, like order me food, do this. I'm like, girl, you should like eat iron, eat like meat. Why do you want to order food? Like that's what I say to her, eat vitamin C. Please do that.
Girl dinner.
Yeah.
She deserves it. There's a lot of things we still don't understand and we still don't normalize when it comes to the cycle of a woman. And a lot of these things are completely undermined in every industry. I wouldn't just say in the medical industry, but also in education, in the workplace sector, whether it's corporate, whether you're a private sector person, whether it's a government job. Nobody takes in account half the population has a completely different way of functioning, their brain, their hormones, their body. And it's just always been like that. And so we would call ourselves progressive because, oh my God, AI has been invented. Oh my God, we have so many cool things now. But when we stand at basic human functions, when we
half the population is not accounted for at all.
Exactly. When we stand at basic bodily functions even, people are like, हाँ जितना पता है उतना पता है, बस ठीक है, आगे woman का word ban कर दो research में. When did America do that? I don't know.
Recently, it left like
America.
The guy got appointed. The guy that shall not be named.
It's like, and anything associated with women as well. Just ban the entire concept of the female gender being studied in research. So another point, when Alishba was saying about the man of the house getting sick, I wanted to ask you a question. Is it true that men do feel pain more internally? Like, it's not physical pain. It is physical pain, but it's not like physically inflicted upon them. When it's internal pain, do they feel it more because they don't tend to suffer as much with constant pain that women do. And that's why they dramatize their flu more, or their cough, or when they get a fever.
Okay, so I can speak to my experience. I feel like when I am sick versus my sister is sick, I feel like I get much more of a special treatment than she does. Like, oh, Waleed ne khana khaya, Waleed ne ye kiya, Waleed ne wo kiya. I'm not sure if this is like maybe because I like dramatize it more, or I'm suffering more. Maybe I don't know, but I do think gender like plays a like role into that, definitely, like the bias.
Not just the bias, but the way that they dramatize it. I wouldn't say that, oh, they're not in pain.
Yeah.
Yes, they are in pain. When you're having a fever, your nose is runny, one nostril is dry as a desert, the other one's a waterfall. Everybody experiences that. The thing is, I see the experience and I'm like, well, it's not like you've never gotten a flu before. Whereas when a woman's dealing with it, it's like, yeah, it's just a flu. It happens every other day. I have a prime example of that. Every morning, somebody calls me and is like so sick. And I'm like, are you okay? Do you feel fine? She's like, yeah, it's completely normal. I get sick every morning. Girl, in what universe is that completely normal? But to some extent, I've also normalized it. Well, yeah, she knows her body. She knows how it functions. So it must be completely normal. Whereas my dad, if that man gets sick, all hell rains loose. Every woman in the house turns into a nurse, and we all attend into that man, because he makes it out to be something like खुदा ना खास्ता पता नहीं क्या हो रहा है. And he's like, you don't understand. This is it, guys. We're not gonna see each other after this. And I'm like, dude, it's fine. It's just a flu. You're gonna make it out alive.
Man flu.
It's a man flu. My sister got dengue. She was better than that, man. She was able to, she got a drip going, she got everything going, and it just makes me, even on the internet, I think we've all seen like, oh, men getting sick versus women getting sick.
Yeah.
So that constant pain that women go through, whether it's their
I feel like
woman-related pain. Yeah, sorry.
In the medical field also, I've heard that in India, there are a few doctors during the delivery of the babies. When the woman is really shouting, there are cases that they slap them. And it's like quite horrifying.
I've heard about that too, but personally, like in my family and even in like Pakistan in general, like women do not get epidurals because like their husbands or people in their family are like, it's like normal, like you should experience that pain.
What
And
do
I
you
remember,
mean? It's not an experience.
I saw this on TikTok. Like on like some Islamic forums, they were discussing whether like elective C-sections should be allowed, like not for emergencies, for just a woman wants to do it for cosmetic reasons, or like she does not want to go through that pain of vaginal delivery. So people are discussing this. Like my like rebuttal to this was that if it's an easier way, why not?
Yeah.
Why not go through a C-section? Why would you put yourself through pain, especially for something like childbirth?
Right. It's like,
again, I think a lot of this is just systematic misogyny disguised as glorification of the process.
Definitely.
Okay, when it could be taken in religious context or outside of it, that, oh, God is going to reward my pain. This is how it's supposed to be done. This is how he intended it to be done. And then they take big quotations from whether it's Hazrat Maryam alayhi salam or Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha. And they're like, well, they had an awful time. Like Hazrat Maryam had nobody. The famous instance where she shakes a date tree and dates fall for her and she just eats dates while crying and screaming and praying. They're like, yeah, that's what we're gonna do too. She was under a tree. Why are you in the hospital then, woman? Go under a tree and give birth. If you're so bound and hell-bent on doing it the religious way.
And I feel later on in family discussions, it's like, oh my God, उन्होंने तो normal delivery कराई थी, उनकी normal delivery थी, उनका C-section हुआ था. It's like, what? Why does it matter?
It literally doesn't matter. don't
At the end of the
understand.
day, we just want the mother and the child to be healthy.
At the end of the day, it just depends on, like, I feel like it's just something that,
Like, if you even talk about abortion laws in the US, why do we not center that this is something that does affect a woman's life? Chalo, we can get into like the nuances of conception, ki conception is waqt hoti hai, wo hoti hai, but it's like, why should someone start a family if they're not ready for it? Why should like a 20-year-old or a 25-year-old who's not ready for kids be forced to carry a pregnancy? And that's why, and then when these people like have laws like this where they want to target specific populations, it's like these lawmakers, their families will still be able to access abortion. They just want like the common people who it's accessible for to suffer. It is about control, definitely.
and that's a whole different topic because no abortions means more unwanted kids,
Yeah.
more unwanted
And
kids.
unsafe abortions too, if it's outlawed.
Unsafe abortions for especially young children. And is there a pediatric area in gynecology?
I'm not sure about that.
I don't think so. I wouldn't think. Is there
Yeah.
pediatric area in gynecology?
Pediatrics is different.
Pediatric pediatrician for different fields exist though.
Yeah.
So like whether it's a stomach doctor or a heart doctor, for children they're different, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think there is. I think they would just go to a normal gynecologist.
Dangerous.
Hmm.
Sus. Anyways, moving forward. Let's jump to accountability. How is it that we can, make these changes? Well, we've so far been talking about the medical field, but not just in the medical field, whether it's in online forums, whether it's in our educational fields, whether it's in our corporate fields, in our basic day-to-day lives, in real person, even if it's just friends hanging out. How is it that we bring these changes that eventually will become normalized, hopefully later on in the future?
I think the first thing is to call each other out. I think one thing that we as men we do is that we don't call each other out. I feel like women are more, they let each other know that, you did this wrong. Ye tumne galat kiya, you should know about this. Men, I don't think men do that, or men don't even realize that what their bros are doing is something that is wrong, or something that is not okay, or that harms other people.
I think dudes even let each other dress horribly and they don't tell each other like, hey, you dress.
Oh, for sure. Oh, I do that too. Like, I actually don't care what my friends dress up as. Like, you do you.
I care. Like, if Zainab wore something hideous, I'd be like, girl, go change. Like, this is not gonna work out. But if it's like her style, her vibe, and something genuinely like,
so that's
Zainab
what they do
core.
with the guys now.
No,
The thing is their vibe.
But their vibes are awful.
Yeah.
Like, change, for God's sake. Just do something nice, anything presentable. Like, you go, an average man will never have an iron shirt, will never have nice pants, have
Hygiene.
holes in his socks. Hygiene. Oh my God. 5 दिन घर पे क्या रह रहे हैं, ऐसे लगता है केव के अंदर से निकल के आ रहे हैं, सारी दाढ़ी बड़ी हुई भी होगी, नाखूनों के नीचे मिट्टी फैली हुई होगी, आंखों के अंदर, if you look at them close enough, they have like that eye goop in their eye sockets. I know, right?
Why are you looking close enough?
Trust me, my field requires me to.
No.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
I sit next to them sometimes.
Ew.
Sometimes.
It's nasty. Sometimes. Yeah. What do you mean?
No.
Anyways, moving forward. Yeah, continue. I'm so sorry. So
I forgot what I was talking about.
You were saying you guys do you.
Okay.
Accountability, calling each other out.
Calling each other out, definitely that's the thing that matters most. Whether that's in online spaces, in like real world spaces, like when you're just hanging out with your friends, you should call each other out. And I think there's also a thing that there's a lack of awareness about certain things as it's not talked about in our families and like media and like popular culture. So that's why I think like things like Aurat March are very beneficial, because although it is taboo in the sense that like maybe 90% of Pakistanis do not support what Aurat March is doing, it does create this dialogue that there is a group that is standing up for women's rights. There is a group that is highlighting society's ills, because honestly, no one cares about women's rights. Like, who cares that women are dying? Like, that's a normal thing. Who cares that something bad is
I
happening?
would say sometimes women don't care about women rights as well.
Because it's to the point, it's so bad that to a point you get desensitized. For
Definitely.
women, they get desensitized,
They
and
kind of let go of the hope that it's gonna get any better.
If you like
Exactly.
talk about like recent issues like the Epstein list, like the whole Epstein list thing was a joke. Like online, everyone was joking about like the suffering of women and kids. Like it was just memes. It was just memes the whole time. Like it wasn't anything that was taken serious. Like lawmakers should be held accountable. It's a big issue that these elite people were able to like fly out women and children and do bad stuff to them. And yeah, and also another thing I feel like is sometimes when we discuss events like this, we take the blame away from the perpetrator. Like instead of like, oh, a man raped a woman, we're like, oh, a woman was raped. You know, like we use passive voices. So it's like, oh,
all about the language.
it's all about the women. It's not about someone who actually did some harm to another person. So I think that matters as well.
That's where the main idea of this podcast also came from, where like we shift the perspective using language.
Language plays a big role.
It's like even in the news, it's like dash woman was raped. It's like not itne men raped that woman.
Yeah.
I don't पाकिस्तान के अंदर क्या बोलते हैं ड्रामास के अंदर औरतों की इज्जत चुरा ली.
इज्जत चुरा लिया.
Yeah.
Honor was taken away.
And younger me would see that and was just like, how did they take it? Where did it go? It looks like it's right there. To the point, even if you like take somebody's dupatta, like even if you see somebody taking somebody's dupatta, they're like, oh, तुमने उसकी इज्जत ले ली उससे.
It's like they bind these things to
like a fabric.
inside. She's okay.
So language just does shape like a lot of our perceptions. Like from a young age, the way you're taught language, the way you structure it, the way you see it, it all depends on what type of people you surround yourself with, the type of environment you grow up in, and it also determines the type of person you're going to be in the future. So, if my mom were here, she would say something about that memes thing. She would be like, that memes thing is all CIA agents. It's all the government. And she would go on about her superstitions. Her voice is playing in my head right now.
And I think at one point they kind of wanted to shift from that. It's all that they're bringing it up to hide something else. So people are like more focused on finding out what is that something else.
I remember seeing this like video of this sheikh, and he was like, it was like a foreign sheikh, and he was like, oh, we should not talk about the Epstein list. We should not talk about this and that. Like even if our rulers are bad, we should not talk about it. And I was just like, why is the suffering of so many people, which especially women and children, why is it something that we don't talk about? Why is it something we ignore?
Because it's suffering of women and children. Because it is suffering of women and children.
I feel like the women and children that are also affected during the war, they're not talked about enough.
Yeah. Have you... Palestine का कितना news आके जा चुका है.
Now it's barely talked about at all.
It's barely talked about. But one
They say because all the journalists were killed. That's why अब कोई पता नहीं चल रहा.
Exactly. But even when they were still here in October of 2023, women still got their periods. They still had to give birth. They still had to maintain their children. They still had to feed themselves. They still had so many things on their plate. Yet that perspective, I personally feel like wasn't covered enough and wasn't as loud as the men. Or जहाँ थोड़ी सी औरतों की बात होनी शुरू होती, maybe it's just my feed, मगर जहाँ पर थोड़ी सी बात शुरू होती, वो बोलते the narrative would completely switch and emphasize the men more. Yes, women and children would also look at the men, and then they would do like some thirst trap edit of Palestinian men working hard.
If there is like thoda sa aid for the women and jo bachcho ka food is specific, it was like highlighted a lot.
Yeah.
Ye aid, even if it was like in a really small amount ya kuch. And I also think during wars the women and the children are affected, but जो usually women's right और जो usually children's के सारी चीज़ों के बारे में बात करते हैं, international जो institutions हैं और सारी, they don't talk about it. during the war. Because
even during natural disasters, like Sindh mein itne floods hote hain. So many women and children are affected by that. Like they're unable to like deal with menstruation. They face like violence through the workers that come there or to help them, to provide them aid. So this is something that's not talked about at all. There are few NGOs that work towards this, but it's not something like on a governmental level that is addressed.
So, even though women's rights groups are sometimes questionable in their intentions.
Like what? What do you emphasize that?
Sometimes questionable in their intentions. What are their true intentions? Where do they put them out? Who do they consider as part of them? Who do they exclude? So, to the extent it is like there and it gets a lot of backlash from, particularly when it comes to Aurat March, it gets a lot of backlash from Pakistan society. But then again, Aurat March also gets backlashed. A common thing that I saw on every post that was about a woman crying holding her baby is like, where are all the feminists now? Where are they? And Pakistan in particular, where is the Aurat March movement when it comes to speaking up about Palestine? So
I feel like in some it's a bit different than what you're talking about. Like when we are articulate about the rights, about the equality and everything, there are some things that they say कि अच्छा आपको वुमेन्स राइट चाहिए तो आदमी तो बस के पीछे लटक के जाता है, औरतें क्यों नहीं जाती हैं ऐसे.
नान की लाइन में सेपरेट होती है आदमी और औरतों की लाइन. औरतों को आगे
they're like अब यहाँ पे भी तो आपको privilege मिल रहा है, यहाँ पे equality कहाँ है. I was just, it was, my Instagram feed was like rage baiting me last night. It was like I was continuously
इनको क्या
getting,
हकूक चाहिए.
yeah, it was continuously getting a reel format ke there was a caption ke bro believes in equality. That was the big statement written in front of the screen. और हो ये रहा था, it was like random fight scenes जिसके अंदर the guy was basically punching women. It was like कि आदमियों की लड़ाई हो रही है and there is a woman that is trying to stop and he just lashes out on her. And there were multiple reels like that. So it's like,
I feel like abhi Aurat March released a post ke who's the misogynist of the year.
yeah.
So all the men in the comments were like, oh, me, I'm the misogynist of the year. Like it was something I'm a misogynist of the year.
What the hell?
That's like a word.
उसके comments नहीं देखे.
No, you should look at the comments. It was like so weird to me ke, like this is a good word. Like I want to be a misogynist.
Oh my god. Again, they take pride in that. Circling back to the where are the feminists now? When it comes to Pakistan society, I think your first step, or anybody's first step, again, when it comes to accountability, is to fix where you are right now and then move forward to other places where you want to go. So if you're not fixing your surroundings, you can't take a step outside of your house.
Definitely.
Once you fix your gully, then you can go try to fix maybe your area. Once you fix your area, then you can like go further and further. And that logic is applied in every aspect of life. Like obviously, if you can't feed yourself, who else are you going to feed? Once you're able to feed yourself, then you give zakat. Then you give charity to your neighbors. You feed them, and then you give charity to the surrounding areas. So when it comes to these type of topics, a lot of people discourage us saying, okay, well, if you're a feminist movement, why don't you be more vocal about so-and-so areas and so-and-so projects?
And I saw this video yesterday of this woman. She was saying like why doesn't Aurat March talk about like the police brutality towards like PTI ki women or PMLN ki women or stuff like that. And I was like, because there are people that are talking about that. Of course that's not right ke PTI ke workers ko or PMLN ke workers ke sath zulm ho raha hai. That's not right at all, but there are institutions that are talking about them. Aurat March is for the marginalized of the marginalized, जिनके बारे में कोई भी बात नहीं होती. And I don't understand then why are you taking the conversation away from people who actually need awareness that this is stuff that is happening. There's this like women have to go through a lot of labor, like emotional labor, physical labor, and like financial abuse, rape, etc. And then you're focusing the discussion on like politics. आप आप ये PTI के बारे में क्यों नहीं बात करती है, इसके बारे में क्यों नहीं बात
Isn't
करती
that
औरत
what they
मंच?
want? Just
Again,
divert हो जाए.
the more a institute or a body of people are focused on one thing, the more people will try to distract them and make them go everywhere so that they achieve nothing. So that tactic has been played on women for centuries. It's not going to work this time. We're going to stick to one thing. We're going to make our way one step at a time. Does that sound like a nice conclusion?
Yeah, I would say the reason why we started the podcast was to get people's views, to talk about what is actually happening around us, because two people can talk as much as they want, but we want a third person's perspective.
Also, one thing that I like is a word of advice is I feel men should really listen to women. Like the experience that women have with misogyny and stuff is something that you will never understand on like a fundamental level. You can try to understand it. You can like understand कि भाई इन लोगों के साथ injustice हो रही है, but on like a fundamental level, on a day-to-day level, it's not something that you can comprehend because you don't go through it yourself. You can attempt to, but you can't fully grasp the like concept of it. Because it's ingrained in every part of our society. So one thing that men should do is that they should listen to women. They should listen to their peers. They should listen to their mothers. They should listen to like the women around them. Not just like, oh, अपनी माँ बहन की सुनो, like they like माँ ने पैदा किया है, so that's it. Like you should listen to women in general as well.
अपनी माँ बहन की
You know, you should listen to women. That's I think the conclusion as well. You should listen to their experiences.
Yeah, that is so true. क्योंकि we just did a podcast last week, and our guests, we were discussing the cat calling women ghost go through, and he was saying अच्छा
वो भी किसी की माँ है, वो भी किसी की बहन है.
हाँ, तो I was like, he just said a statement that triggered so much. I'm like, you cannot know what it. Are you ever like तुम गुजर रहे हो और तुम्हें किसी ने सीटी मारी हो, कभी ऐसा हो सकता है? No, the guys don't go through it.
Definitely.
So it's like you have to understand. उनसे बात करो and everything, like it's so weird.
Well, thank you so much, Waleed. I loved your conclusion.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're most welcome. I loved your conclusion. I loved your viewpoints. Thank you so much for taking time out. And yeah. Outro.
Is this our last episode?
Yeah.
Guys, we're ending the series. Who taught you to hate her? And I hope you guys understood what are the reasons, what are the patterns, and who actually is teaching us to hate the woman, the men and the women.
And I hope that the point is clear to start with yourself and your surroundings and be vocal about it and make your way outwards.
Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to Alishba and Fatima together.
Oh, I did. I enjoyed listening to Alishba and Fatima.
I just enjoyed Fatima.
Oh.
Fuck
it. Okay. Bye, guys. This is Who Taught You to Hate Her signing off. Potentially forever. See you soon someday, maybe. Bye.
Σκάνε στο στόμα μου και κόβουν το παιδικό μου γέλιο. Αλλά τα καρότα με σηκώνουν, ανεβαίνω προς έναν αγρίο ήλιο. Σπάνε σαν κιθάρες και το σώμα μου γίνεται φωνήρα. Τραπ σκουπίδι, κάρτα χτυπώ χωρίς φόβο. Φωνάζω καρότα προς τον ουρανό.